So good afternoon all of you. So now we are going to discuss vectors for cloning genes in plants and vectors for cloning genes in animals. So in previous class, we discussed ideal characteristic features of vectors. What are the important characteristic features or ideal characteristic features of vectors? So we discussed in earlier classes, in last class, right? So now we are going to discuss vectors for cloning genes in plants. So what type of vectors we are using for amplification of desirable genetic material in plants? What type of vectors we are using for amplification of desirable genetic material in animals? So we will see. So what type of vectors we are using for amplification of desirable genetic material or insertion of desirable genetic material into the plant cell cytoplasm? So plasmid. Which type of plasmid? Ti plasmid. So the Ti plasmid located in cytoplasm of Agrobacterium tumefaciens. Agrobacterium. So Agrobacterium tumefaciens. Tumefaciens. Right. So that Agrobacterium tumefaciens consists of Ti plasmid. So what is Ti plasmid? Tumor inducing plasmid. So what is the meaning of Ti plasmid here? Tumor inducing plasmid. So that tumor inducing plasmid located in Agrobacterium tumefaciens, right? And that what is the shape of this bacteria? So rod shaped bacteria. It is rod shaped bacteria, right? And that too, is it gram positive or gram negative bacteria? So gram negative bacteria it is. Gram negative bacteria, right? Done. And one more thing here. See, in this, Ti plasmid means tumor inducing plasmid. So that Ti plasmid or tumor inducing plasmid has disease causing genetic material. We call it as tDNA. tDNA. So the Ti plasmid or tumor inducing plasmid has disease causing genes. So the disease causing gene is called tDNA. So tDNA. So what is tDNA here? So disease causing DNA segment which is located in Ti plasmid is called tDNA. So that tDNA whenever enters into the plant cell cytoplasm, slowly it turns normal cell into cancer cell, right? So whenever it delivers that bacteria, see that bacteria delivers, it means it transfers tDNA into healthy plant cell, healthy plant cell, healthy plant cell. So whenever the tDNA enters into healthy plant cell, so that normal healthy plant cell converted into cancer cell, right? So the tDNA converts, so that tDNA whenever enters into healthy cell, so it turns that healthy cell into cancer cell. It means that tDNA converts normal cell into normal cell. Normal cell means normal healthy cell into cancer cell. So it means normal healthy cell converted into cancer cell by the tDNA. So that piece of DNA or tDNA delivers into the healthy cell by the Agrobacterium tumefaciens. Right? It means that Agrobacterium tumefaciens has tDNA in Ti plasmid. So that tDNA is considered as disease causing DNA. So that disease causing DNA enters into enters into plant cell cytoplasm first. So whenever it enters into plant cell cytoplasm, so that a healthy plant cell converted into cancer cell. But already we have some idea that Agrobacterium tumefaciens causes which disease? Crown gall disease. It causes, right, which disease? Crown gall disease. Crown gall disease, right? Especially in which plants? Dicot plants or monocot plants? So dicot plants, several dicot plants, not in monocots, So it causes crown gall disease or plant cancer. Other name for this, plant cancer in several dicot plants. So that Agrobacterium tumefaciens causes crown gall disease or plant cancer in several dicot plants. Right? For example, you can take apple and pear. Apple, dicot plant. Pear, dicot plant. So in these two plants, so that Agrobacterium tumefaciens causes crown gall disease or plant cancer. Okay, right? So why we are selecting Agrobacterium tumefaciens for insertion of desirable genetic material into plant cell cytoplasm or plant cells? Why? Because that Agrobacterium tumefaciens replicates rapidly or fastly. So that's the reason we selected Agrobacterium tumefaciens for amplification or insertion of foreign genetic material into host cell cytoplasm. Right. That. So how we insert foreign genetic material into host cell cytoplasm? So, right, we will see. Diagrammatically, I'll explain you. Right? Listen carefully. Diagrammatically, I'll explain you how that foreign genetic material or desirable genetic material inserted into plant cell cytoplasm. So first, we need to select Agrobacterium tumefaciens. So which bacterial cell? Agrobacterium tumefaciens cell. Okay, it is xenophobe, main genetic material, and it is plasmid. Which plasmid? Ti plasmid. So that bacterial name is AT. AT means Agrobacterium tumefaciens. Okay, right. Then, and one more thing is the desirable genetic material. Imagine it is desirable gene or desirable DNA. So the desirable DNA segment we need to insert into the plant cell cytoplasm. But how so? See, in first step, we need to isolate plasmid from the Agrobacterium tumefaciens. Right? We need to isolate plasmid from the Agrobacterium tumefaciens. So in this, so this segment, so from here to here, so this segment is considered as tDNA. What it is? tDNA. So that tDNA located in Ti plasmid. So what is Ti plasmid here? Tumor inducing plasmid. Right? See here the tDNA removed by using restriction endonuclease enzymes. Right? So by using restriction endonuclease enzymes, the tDNA removed from the Ti plasmid. Why? Because the tDNA causes crown gall disease. No. Right? So to modify that plasmid, so we removed that tDNA by using restriction endonuclease enzymes. In the same way, that desirable genetic material or desirable DNA also fragmented by the same type of restriction endonuclease enzymes. So by using same type of restriction endonuclease enzymes, so that the Ti plasmid tDNA and desirable genetic material fragmented. So they're resulting in the formation of sticky ends as well. They're resulting in the formation of sticky ends. See like this. Sticky ends. So here the tDNA not completely removed out. So some part of DNA present in that plasmid, but it is inactivated. Some part of DNA present in that plasmid, but it is inactivated. So in the place of tDNA, we inserted foreign genetic material or desirable genetic material. Desirable genetic material inserted into the Ti plasmid at the place of tDNA. At the place of tDNA, we inserted desirable genetic material by using ligase enzyme. So by using ligase enzyme, when we insert desirable genetic material into the plasmid, Ti plasmid, it resulting in the formation of rDNA. rDNA means recombinant DNA. So that recombinant DNA includes plasmid genetic material, and desirable genetic material. Right? So this is rDNA molecule, recombinant DNA molecule or chimeric DNA molecule. So we call it as modified TI plasmid, right? Modified TI plasmid. Why we call it as modified TI plasmid? So we remove the tDNA, a disease-causing genetic material, by using restriction endonuclease enzymes. So it resulting in the formation of rDNA, right? So that rDNA includes TI plasmid and desirable DNA, right? Now, so that rDNA inserted into the host cell cytoplasm. So which cell act as host cell here? Agrobacterium tumefaciens only. But sir, Agrobacterium tumefaciens causes diseases, no sir, right? Crown gall disease, no sir. Yes. So here some bacterial cells lacks that plasmids, right? So those bacterial cells we selected, right? In some Agrobacterium tumefaciens bacteria, there is no plasmids. Plasmids are absent. So that type of Agrobacterium, right, we selected for this experiment, right? We selected as host cell, Agrobacterium tumefaciens, but it acts as host cell only, right? So now it is modified host cell or modified Agrobacterium tumefaciens cell. So it do not cause any disease. So that modified host cells, right, injected into plant cell. It is plant cell. So whenever it infected the plant cell infected by the Agrobacterium tumefaciens, so this bacteria transfers tDNA. So tDNA already inactivated, no sir. See that foreign genetic material containing tDNA, right? It enters into the plant cell cytoplasm. So that a bacterial cell, Agrobacterium tumefaciens bacterial cell delivers a piece of DNA, a piece of tDNA. So a piece of tDNA which contains foreign genetic material enters into plant cell cytoplasm. So here, so that DNA incorporated with plant genetic material. That DNA, that foreign genetic material incorporated with plant cell genetic material. So when we culture that plant cell in tissue culture method, by using tissue culture method, when we culture that plant cell, it resulting in the formation of new plantlets. New plantlet with desirable genes. Right? In this way, for insertion of desirable genetic material or required genetic material into plant cell cytoplasm or plant body, so we're using what type of plasmids here? TI plasmids. But the TI plasmids are disease causing plasmids, no, but we modified that plasmid, right? We modified that plasmid by using restriction endonuclease enzymes, right? So instead of tDNA, we inserted desirable genetic material, right? So modified TI plasmids used for insertion of desirable genetic material into plant cell cytoplasm, right? So this is the information related to vectors for cloning genes in plants. Is it clear? So what type of vectors we are using for cloning genes in plant cells or plant cell cytoplasm? TI plasmid. That to normal TI plasmids or modified TI plasmids? Modified TI plasmids, right? So note it down. Right. So now come to another one. Vectors for cloning genes in animals. So now come to another one. Vectors for cloning genes in animals. So it is also ideal characteristic feature, right? Fifth one, ideal characteristic features of vectors. So vectors for cloning genes in plants over. Now vectors for cloning genes in animals. Okay, so what type of vectors used for amplification or cloning genetic material in animals? So retroviruses. Retroviruses. So retroviruses used for amplification of desirable genetic material in animal cell cytoplasm. So retrovirus genetic material is single-stranded RNA. So what is the genetic material of retroviruses? Single-stranded RNA. So that single-stranded RNA act as genetic material in retroviruses. But in host cell cytoplasm, that retrovirus genetic material undergoes reverse transcription process by the reverse transcriptase enzyme and forms DNA molecule, right? So in general, in host cell cytoplasm, so that RNA genome undergoes reverse transcription process. So reverse transcription process by the reverse transcriptase enzyme. A reverse transcriptase enzyme and forms DNA. It means so that single stranded RNA molecule undergoes a reverse transcription process by the reverse transcriptase enzyme, and it resulting in the formation of DNA molecules. And that too, what type of retroviruses used for cloning genes in animals? Disarmed retroviruses. What are they? Disarmed. So disarmed means not harmful. Disarmed retroviruses. So that disarmed retroviruses used for amplification of desirable genetic material in animals. But how so? For example, you can take a retrovirus. Imagine it is retroviruses. In general, what is the function of retroviruses? Otherwise, how the retroviruses causes diseases in animal cells? So they causes cancer, right? So that retroviruses genetic material causes cancer in animal cells. So normal cell converted into cancer cell by the retroviruses. But in this process, we are using disarmed retroviruses for amplification of desirable genetic material in animal cells. But how so? We'll see. So better to take retrovirus. That retrovirus genetic material is RNA, right? 2 RNA molecules, single-stranded RNA molecules. So we need to isolate that RNA molecules first, right? So we isolated that RNA molecule. So from here to here, imagine this is disease-causing gene, right? This area is disease, right? Disease genes. It means disease-causing genetic material. So that disease-causing genetic material are removed from the RNA molecule and inserted desirable RNA molecule. Okay, right? So by using restriction endonuclease enzymes, so that disease-causing genetic material are removed from the RNA molecule and inserted desirable RNA. Right? Are you clear? See, the disease-causing genetic material which is present in RNA molecule of retroviruses removed by the restriction endonuclease enzymes and inserted desirable RNA. So that desirable RNA molecule, imagine This is desirable RNA. So that desirable RNA molecule again inserted into the retrovirus. Inserted into retroviruses. Right? So whenever that retroviruses infects animal cell, retrovirus infects animal cell. So retrovirus infects animal cell, so that RNA molecule enters into animal cell cytoplasm. Animal cell cytoplasm. So by the reverse transcriptase enzyme, that single stranded RNA molecule which enters into the animal cell cytoplasm, right, with the help of reverse transcriptase enzyme and reverse transcription process, so it forms DNA molecule, double stranded DNA molecule. So we call it as reverse transcription process now. So by the reverse transcriptase enzyme, so that rRNA molecule, it means recombinant RNA molecule which is present in retroviruses, enters into the animal cell cytoplasm. In animal cell cytoplasm, that RNA molecule undergoes reverse transcription process by the reverse transcriptase enzyme, and it resulting in the formation of dsDNA, double-stranded DNA. But that double-stranded DNA has desirable DNA segments. Why? Because we inserted desirable RNA molecule now. So that desirable RNA molecule also undergoes reverse transcription and forms desirable DNA segment. Desirable DNA segment. So along with virus particle genetic material, the desirable DNA segment also present in virus particle genetic material, right? Then it closely incorporated to the genetic material, animal cell genetic material. It closely incorporated with animal cell genetic material, and along with animal cell genetic material, so that foreign genetic material or desirable genetic material also amplified, right? Amplified. So in this way, vectors we're using for cloning genes in animal cells. So now tell me, what type of vectors we're using for cloning genes in animals? Retroviruses. Retroviruses. That to normal retroviruses are modified retroviruses. So modified retroviruses. So we call them as disarmed retroviruses. Important. So now tell me just 2 points here. Which type of vectors we use it for amplification of desirable genetic material in plants? TI plasmids. Normal plasmid or modified TI plasmid? Modified TI plasmid. Here, which type of vectors we are using for cloning genes in animals? Retroviruses. What type of retroviruses? Disarmed retroviruses. That's it. Right? So take on screenshot. So nothing is there, don't confuse. Here 2 RNA molecules are there. In general, genetic material is 2 single stranded RNA molecules in retroviruses. So that retroviruses causes cancer in animal cells. So we need to isolate that genetic material, and that disease causing genetic material removed from the RNA, right? In that area, we inserted desirable RNA, right? Required RNA molecule. So when again inserted into retroviruses. So whenever that retrovirus infected to the animal cell, so automatically that RNA molecule enters into animal cell cytoplasm. In that animal cell cytoplasm, it undergoes reverse transcription process and forms DNA molecule. So that DNA molecule incorporated with animal genetic material, right? Animal genetic material. Whenever that cell cultured on the nutrient medium, so automatically along with animal cell genetic material, this genetic material also replicated, right? So in this way, disarmed retroviruses used for amplification of desirable genes in animals. Clear? Right. Then so now total ideal characteristic features of vectors over. ideal characteristic features of vectors over. So it means the vector which we used for amplification of desirable genetic material requires ORI sites, selectable markers, cloning sites, then small and low molecular weight vector, then vectors varies from plants to animals, right? Vectors for cloning genes in plants and animals. So now come to another important tool, last important tool in rDNA technology, that is competent hosts. Competent hosts. Competent hosts for insertion of rDNA. For insertion of rDNA or recombinant DNA. So we require competent hosts. Competent host. So what is the meaning of competent host, sir? For the insertion of rDNA molecule, into host cell cytoplasm, first we need to make host cell ready to receive that rDNA molecule. Listen carefully. So for the insertion or in order to insert rDNA into host cell cytoplasm, So we need to make that host cell competent, otherwise ready to receive. So for insertion of rDNA molecule into host cell cytoplasm, first we make that host cell competent, right? So we make that host cell to be competent. So in order to insert rDNA into host cell cytoplasm, first we make that host cell to be competent. So what is the meaning of competent host cells? So the cell which is ready to receive or ready to accept rDNA molecule is called competent host. So don't confuse. So what is competent host here? The cell which is ready to accept or ready to receive rDNA molecule into host cell cytoplasm called competent cell. So the cell which is ready to accept rDNA molecule called competent host. So simple definition for competent host: the cell which is ready to accept or ready to receive rDNA molecule called competent host. But in general, DNA molecule is hydrophilic molecule. So the DNA molecule is hydrophilic in nature. So that hydrophilic DNA molecule cannot passes through the plasma membrane, right? So that hydrophilic DNA molecule, cannot passes through the plasma membrane. Why? Because plasma membrane is a lipoproteinaceous layer. Is it hydrophilic in nature or hydrophobic in nature? Hydrophobic in nature. So better to take bacterial cell. In bacterial cell, so that cell enclosed by the rigid cell wall and plasma membrane. So cell wall is permeable in nature. It allows all molecules from outside to inside. But what about plasma membrane or cell membrane? So that cell membrane or plasma membrane is selectively permeable. And then to hydrophilic in nature or hydrophobic in nature? Hydrophobic in nature. Why it is hydrophobic in nature? Why? Because it is made up of proteins and lipid molecules. So that lipid molecules, hydrophobic nature lipid molecules not allows hydrophilic molecule. So here DNA molecule is hydrophilic in nature. So that hydrophilic nature DNA molecule cannot passes through the plasma membrane or cell membrane. So now tell me how that RNA molecule, otherwise how the DNA molecule, rDNA molecule inserted into host cell cytoplasm. So for example, you can take rDNA molecule. Right, so this is host cell, and it is rDNA molecule. So we need to insert that rDNA molecule into host cell cytoplasm. But in general, that rDNA molecule cannot passes through the plasma membrane of bacterial cell. Why? Because it is hydrophilic in nature. rDNA molecule is hydrophilic in nature, but plasma membrane is hydrophobic in nature. Why? Because it is made up of lipids and proteins. So that lipoproteinaceous layer is hydrophobic in nature. So that hydrophobic nature lipoproteinaceous layer not allows rDNA molecule. Not allows rDNA molecules. But how we will insert that rDNA molecule into host cell cytoplasm? So there are several methods for insertion of rDNA molecule into host cell cytoplasm. What are they? We'll see one by one. So for the insertion of rDNA molecule into host cell cytoplasm, we are using several methods. Better to write small heading: methods for insertion of rDNA. Methods for insertion of rDNA into host cell. In that, first method is calcium chloride treatment. Calcium chloride treatment. CaCl2, I think. Calcium chloride treatment. Then second one, micro injections. Then third one, biolistic methods. Biolistics method, otherwise we call it as Xene gun method. Xene gun method are biolistic methods. And fourth one, disarmed pathogens. By using disarmed pathogens. Right? And fifth method, another method, that is electroporation. So fifth method is electroporation. Right? So these are the 5 methods for insertion of rDNA molecule into host cell cytoplasm. Right? Sometimes they'll ask what type of methods we are using for insertion of rDNA molecule into host cell cytoplasm. Like that they'll ask, right? So one is calcium chloride treatment, micro injections, biolistic method, disarmed pathogens, electroporation. So now come to one by one. So how we will insert rDNA into host cell cytoplasm by using these methods, we will see one by one, right? Take on screenshot now. All right. So now come to first method. What it is? Calcium chloride treatment. First method for insertion of rDNA molecule into host cell cytoplasm, CaCl2, calcium chloride treatment. See, in this method, that host cell first treated with divalent cation calcium. In this method, that bacterial cell or host cell, better to take bacterial cell only. Why? Because that calcium treatment method or calcium chloride treatment used for incision of rDNA into bacterial cell cytoplasm. This method is useful for incision of rDNA in bacterial cells. Right? So in this method, that host cell is nothing but bacterial cell only here. So treated with divalent cation calcium. Divalent cation. So divalent cation calcium. Whenever it treated with the divalent cation calcium, so minute pore-like structures formed on the cell wall. So minute pores are small holes formed on the cell wall of the bacteria. Right? After that, so that bacterial cell or host cell and genetic material rDNA molecule treated on ice, actually 0 degrees centigrade. Right? Imagine it is rDNA molecule and it is host cell. Okay, right? Already host cell treated with calcium chloride. So whenever we treated that host cell with calcium chloride divalent cation, it forms minute pores, minute holes or minute pores or unthickened areas on the cell wall. After that, so both host cell and rDNA molecules placed on ice conditions. Both host cell and rDNA molecules subjected to the 0 degrees centigrade. Subjected to 0 degrees centigrade. 0 degrees centigrade. It means ice conditions. So we'll keep both host cell and rDNA molecules at 0 degrees centigrade or ice conditions. Again, it is followed by the 40 to 42 degrees centigrade. So first we'll keep on ice conditions, 0 degrees centigrade. Again, it is followed by the 42 degrees centigrade. Again, we subjected both host cell and rDNA molecules to the 42 degrees centigrade. So we call it as heat shock. Right? So after that, put them back on ice conditions again. After treating 42 degree, whenever subjecting the host cell and rDNA molecules to the 42 degrees centigrade, again put them back on ice conditions. So in this process, that host cell ready to accept or ready to receive rDNA molecules into host cell cytoplasm. Right? So in this process, so that a host cell is ready to accept or ready to receive rDNA molecules. So when we apply some force or pressure to the rDNA molecule, automatically it enters into the bacterial cell cytoplasm through pores. Through pores, it enters into the bacterial cell cytoplasm. So we call it as calcium chloride treatment. So this calcium chloride treatment is sufficient, otherwise useful for incision of rDNA into bacterial cell cytoplasm. Right? So first method for incision of rDNA into host cell cytoplasm, we are using calcium chloride method. In which cells? Bacterial cells. So in this process, host cell first treated with divalent cation calcium. So in that, after treating with divalent cation calcium, minute pore-like structures are formed. So after that, host cell and rDNA molecule subjected to the ice conditions. It means 0 degrees centigrade. And it is followed by the 42 degrees centigrade. It means heat shock. So again, they put them back on ice conditions. So in this process, that host cell is ready to receive or accept rDNA molecules from the surroundings. So whenever we apply some pressure or force, automatically that rDNA enters into host cell cytoplasm. Right? So this is first method. So note down. First method for insertion of rDNA into host cell cytoplasm. Then next one, second method, micro injections. Second method is micro injections. Micro injections. See, in micro injections, by using micro injections or micro needles or micro pipettes, that RDNA molecule directly injected into the animal cell nucleus. Animal cell nucleus by using micro needles. Micro needles or by using micro pipettes. Micro pipettes. That RDNA molecule, that recombinant DNA molecule directly injected into animal cell nucleus. Animal cell nucleus. Right? In this method is applicable for animal cells. First method applicable for bacteria. Second method applicable for animal cells, right? So in this method, by using microneedles or micropipettes, directly that RDNA injected to the animal cell nucleus. So in this process, the genetic material incorporated with the animal cell genetic material and amplified along with animal genetic material. Then next method, gene gun method. Gene gun method. So that gene gun method is also called as biolistic method. Biolistic method. Biolistics method. So in this method, we're using heavy particles like gold and tungsten. So that heavy particles like gold and tungsten particles tagged with DNA molecules. So here heavy metals like gold or tungsten particles. Gold or tungsten particles we are using for insertion of RDNA molecule into plant cell cytoplasm, right? So here that gold or tungsten particles coated with DNA, coated with RDNA molecules, right? So that high velocity particles, gold and tungsten coated with RDNA molecule. Simply that RDNA molecule tagged to the gold particle or tungsten particle. And by using this gun, gene gun, one type of instrument actually, right? By using gene gun, so that gold or tungsten particles directly inserted into the plant cell cytoplasm, right? So when we press the trigger of gene gun, so that high velocity particles, gold or tungsten, enters into the plant cell cytoplasm. But in plant cell cytoplasm, it left that RDNA molecule and that particle comes out from the leaf actually, right? So in gene gun method or ballistic method, that heavy metals like gold or tungsten particles, right, coated with RDNA molecule, and directly by using gene gun, that RDNA molecule injected into plant cell cytoplasm, right? So that gold or tungsten particles left that RDNA molecules into plant cell cytoplasm, and that particle again comes out from the leaf cell or plant cell, right? Done. Next method again, fourth method, by using disarmed pathogens. So what are disarmed pathogens? Just now we discussed, right? Retroviruses. Same method again. By using retroviruses, that are disarmed retroviruses used for amplification of desirable genetic material into host cell cytoplasm as usual. Then come to fifth method again, electroporation. So in this method, in electroporation method, that host cell and RDNA molecules subjected to the high electric currents or high electric pulse. So here host cell and rDNA molecule, both of them, rDNA molecule and host cells subjected to the high electric pulse. So in these conditions, that host cell is ready to accept or ready to receive rDNA molecule. Why? Because so high electric pulse causes minute pores on the bacterial cell wall. So in this condition or in this process, that host cell is ready to receive or accept rDNA molecule, right? So these are the 5 methods for insertion of rDNA molecules into host cell cytoplasm. So now tell me one by one. First method is calcium chloride treatment. So calcium chloride treatment used for insertion of rDNA into bacterial cell cytoplasm. Second method, microinjections. In microinjections, directly that rDNA containing cells, otherwise rDNA directly collected in micropipettes or microneedles and injected into animal cell nucleus. It means second method applicable for animal cells. Come to third one again, gene gun method. In gene gun method, otherwise we call it as ballistic method. In this method, high velocity particles are heavy metals we are using. So what type of heavy metals? Gold or tungsten particles. So that gold or tungsten particles coated with rDNA molecule. So after that, that rDNA inserted into host cell cytoplasm. So that host cells, rDNA molecule containing host cells or bacterial cells, we collected into the gene gun. So gene gun is one type of instrument, right? Professor Stanford first discovered that gene gun for insertion of rDNA into host cell cytoplasm. Okay, right? So that rDNA containing cells we collected in gene gun. So when we press the trigger, so automatically that rDNA enters into plant cell cytoplasm. See that gold or tungsten particles left that rDNA molecules in plant cell cytoplasm. So they comes out again. That gold or tungsten particles comes out from the plant cell cytoplasm. In that process, so that gold or tungsten particles left that rDNA molecules in plant cell itself, right? Then, so third method applicable for plant cells. Then come to fourth one, disarmed pathogens. It is nothing but retroviruses. By using disarmed retroviruses, we are using for insertion of rDNA into animal cell cytoplasm or animal cell nucleus, right? Then electroporation method also applicable for bacterial cells. So in this method, so we subjected that host cells and rDNA molecules to the high electric pulse. So they forms minute pore-like structures in bacterial cell surface. So it is ready to receive or accept rDNA molecules. When we apply some pressure to the rDNA, automatically it enters into bacterial cell cytoplasm. Right? So up to here, so 5 methods we discussed for insertion of rDNA into host cell cytoplasm. Right? So that a last important vector in rDNA technology, that is competent hosts. Right? So up to here, total tools of rDNA technology we completed. Tools of rDNA technology. So in next class, we'll see what is the actual process of rDNA technology. By using these tools, how we will create genetically modified plant or genetically modified animal. So we'll see one by one, step by step in next class, right?